Previously on the rise and fall of Nature Boy and carbonation.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is turned off. And keep the aisles clear of all carry-on items.
The day after being kicked out of Hawaii, Carbonation's name would be in the news once again. But this was over 2,500 miles away, and for something far worse than breaking quarantine. In Cape Coral, Florida, Nefertiti had been arrested for stabbing her mother to death, and they were linking her to Carbonation.
21 years old and running away from a cult is the least of Mariah Kelly's problems. Kelly is behind bars, charged with stabbing her mother to death. The Cape Coral police report says Kelly and her mother were arguing while doing the dishes Wednesday night. Kelly claimed her mother hit her over the head. She admitted she had a kitchen knife in her hand and used it to stab her mother.
My mom just darted towards me and started flailing her arms, hitting me in my head and my shoulder. She continues to hit me, and she's hurting me, and my daughter's right next to me, and she's just being reckless. And I had already asked her, to not act that way in front of my daughter. Before you know it, I just have an instinct reaction, and I just jabbed her.
The Cape Coral woman accused of stabbing and killing her own mother used to be in a cult.
You're watching NBC2 News at 11. I'm Lisa Spooner.
And I'm Peter Bush. This cult was known for polygamy and nudity.
I think Carbonation was just a little bit too extreme for me.
Months later, Mariah now seen in a green smock, appearing before a judge after she's accused of killing her mother, 37-year-old Melissa Kelly West.
The bad press couldn't come at a worse time for Carbonation. They were still dealing with the negative publicity from Hawaii, and the last thing Nature Boy needed was for their name to be tied to a murder.
She wasn't truly a member of Carbonation. She was just coming through to see if she wanted to be with Carbonation. Her mom hit her on top of the head and she stabbed her. That has nothing to do with Carbonation.
We are in California. We need a vehicle for transportation, and we need a house to rent. Carbonation 20 deep are homeless right now with minimum cash. Take care of us.
Nature Boy's call for help when they first arrived in California after leaving Hawaii didn't fall on deaf ears. Shaka and his wife Azine, who had been members for a short time while they were in Palenque, would come to the group's aid. They would rejoin Carbonation around this time and rent an Airbnb in LA for a month, giving the group enough time to get back on their feet.
Peace to God. Welcome back to another chance and opportunity
to do the right thing.
First, giving honor to my higher self, the most honorable prophet,
Baba G.
Being that Nature Boy had become so controversial, Shaka thought it was best for the group not to go live until they left LA.
When he came to LA, I shut the cameras down. Nigga, you not coming out here. We in LA, nigga. Niggas will come knock your head off. They already calling me like, where he at? I'm like, nah, so we shut all the cameras off. I'm like, we gonna go silent. Nigga, if you fucking with me, we gonna go silent. This is how I move. I move in silence.
The group would go mostly silent except for a few videos here and there. Most of the videos they made would be either asking for donations or trying to make money some other way. Although the group was mainly silent online, a lot was going on behind the scenes. What started off as a good day turned out to be one of the worst nights for Nana. As the group gathered to watch the fireworks at a park in California, her and Nature Boy got into an argument. This would lead to her getting one of the worst beatings from Nature Boy that she ever got, and it would happen in front of the entire group.
I don't know what happened, but all I know is, nigga, we had the circle up, they got in the circle, and nigga, they was scrapping. Why we gonna get into something when they gonna be back together in the next 24 hours?
He made it to something that was right in his mind, so everyone was like, okay, this is what she deserves. I didn't feel that way because I know that that's not right. That's not righteous.
4th of July, we're outside, and I'm noticing that he's flirting with the women there, and I'm like, why are you doing that? And you're supposed to be committed to me? And I couldn't help but say something about it because he had he promised me that he wouldn't do that. He made carbonation make a circle around me, and he beat me in that circle. And I was so beautiful that day. Like, so beautiful that day. How could you ever put your hands on someone who has the best interest for not only you, but just in general? And he beat me that day, and he made the men tighten up the circle, and everybody watched. And by the end of the beating, I was practically naked in the middle of that circle. After that beating, I really just couldn't turn that off. That hurted me so bad that from that day, I had started to plan my escape.
That day where Velvet was surrounded in a circle, being beat up, that was the same day that he had forced Zoka to drink wine. Not even wine, it was like other alcohol mixtures. It was like a couple things in the cup. I don't think he knew what was in that specific cup, but it was a couple things in that cup. It was mine. He was telling her, Velvet drank wine all the time when she was pregnant with Eliana, and Eliana came out just fine.
It would later be revealed that Zoka actually took 6 shots that night. Rumors began circulating around the internet that Nature Boy forced her to take the shots in an effort to make her lose the baby. Zoka adamantly denied the accusations and made it clear she was never pressured to take the shots at all.
I took the shots myself. I had glasses in my hand and I did this. So for me to do it myself, I have free will.
Although Nature Boy had started off his journey with the message that drinking liquor and smoking weed wasn't natural and therefore didn't belong in the human body, when he got to California, weed and hard liquor had become a normal routine. With liquor now being consumed on a daily basis, arguments and fights were becoming more frequent as well. Although violence had always been a part of carbonation when it came to Nature Boy and his wives, it wouldn't be until the group got to California that violence amongst the members started becoming a regular occurrence.
Those are the times where physical abuse did take place. Men fighting each other, and then the women fighting each other.
Shaka would later describe a violent attack on Malia by Nana with the help of other women in the group, and it was all directed by Nature Boy.
He had everybody put the beds and shit up against the windows. This is in California. Against the windows, the bed frames was in the closet, and he had all the men circle around the bed frames and the wall. And then he had Malia coming. He had Star. He had what's the other bitch named Civil. He had Velvet and Zoka. They were standing and they all was like, "Bitch, if you touch her, we gonna beat your ass. You just gotta take it." He was trying to make Nana feel good about her position.
California is also where the punishments became more normalized. By now, people being put in closets and in the corners was becoming a more common practice.
In that environment, there's a certain way of how they do things. Women get put in the closet if you disrespect. You feel what I'm saying? Men, you can stand in the corner or get put in the closet.
That's my punishment. I put them in isolation, take their phone, I give them some books. They could have, they could write, and they could do stuff like that, but it kind of is like jail. It is. It's isolation.
There was punishments,
So what were some other punishments that?
Okay, so when I was there, I seen niggas. He just had started the corner shit.
He only put me in the corner like twice. And I said only because he would frequently put people in the corner for hours, staring at it for 2 hours or more, depending on how he wants to punish you that day.
Like, get in the corner, telling niggas to get in the corner. He told the females, I ain't get in the corner. He made her stand in the corner for like 2 hours one day. I said,
so it was females and dudes.
Yeah, it wasn't just, no, it was whoever was having a problem, he couldn't control them, nigga, he gonna figure out a way to discipline you.
I gotta stand in the corner until further notice. And I ended up standing in the corner for like 5 hours.
After a month of staying in California, the group headed to Vegas, but the ultimate goal was to get back to Mexico. During their time spent in California, they had lost a few members. Niza left on June 30th, just a few days prior to the 4th of July incident. Although she wouldn't know it at the moment, her short time spent with carbonation would have a lasting impact on her life for years to come. Neytiri would also leave during that time. She had only been with carbonation for less than 5 months, but felt like it was years. She flew back to Atlanta where she would try to start the process of getting her life back together.
I think that a lot of us was just tarnished from him. He's just really cruel.
Earth would end up leaving carbonation after joining just 40 days prior. The incident on the 4th of July, along with other things she had participated in, had proved to be too much for her to bear.
I was only there for 1 fucking month, 40 days and 40 nights. My family was fasting for me for 30 days. My family was praying me through to come home.
Although Carbonation had lost 3 members, they would gain one as well. Nature Boy would name her Honor.
Peace to the guys on earth. Welcome back to another chance, another opportunity to get it right. I've smoked since I was like a teenager. Not cigarettes, but weed. And this whole time of me learning about spirituality, I've been high as hell.
Shortly after arriving in Vegas, Shaka would describe another violent incident that once again involved Malia.
Nature Boy was upstairs whooping her ass, right? But Leah took off like a rocket. Pew! Zoka came behind her like, we was like, where you going? And she stopped to talk to me and tell me where she was going. I'm leaving. So she did that. Zoka grabbed her right here, dragged her ass up the stairs, nigga, and he grabbed her, took her to the room, was whipping her ass.
During their stay in Cali, most of their time was spent smoking weed and getting drunk. This would continue when they got to Vegas. Although the group was keeping a low profile and rarely going live, the same chaos that existed when the cameras were on was still there when they went off. One night while Tron was drunk, he started trying to fight a few of the members. This situation would lead to Nature Boy sending him to the closet for 7 days.
And I got put in that closet, I was like, But I really put myself in that closet because as I was about to go in that closet, I was thinking like I could leave. Like, I think y'all don't understand what's going on in my head because really, no nigga can really put you in a closet. The way that I was looking at it was like how belligerent I was acting that night. It's like if I wasn't being put in this closet for 7 days, nigga, then I would have been put in jail for 7 days, maybe even worse.
About a week after the Tron situation, Nature Boy approached Nana with something that would catch her off guard.
He comes to me one day and he's like, hey, I'm gonna marry you. And I'm like, you wanna marry me? For real? And then the next day he comes to me and he's like, we're just gonna make it a group thing. I'm gonna get them married, I'm gonna get them married, I'm gonna get them married, I'm gonna get them married. And I'm like, this is a total disaster.
Keeping true to his word, Nature Boy married Nana on August 12, 2020, along with 4 other Carbonation couples. Shortly after arriving in Hawaii, Nature Boy had a meeting with the group. And during that meeting, he would drop all of his wives because Nana said she was returning. It would be then that Syrian would get involved with Mente. She'd known him from conversating online before she joined. Mente and Syrian would marry each other alongside Caliber and Ephraim, Solar and Zoka, True and Sheba, and Nature Boy and Nana. Carbonation wouldn't stay in Vegas for too long after the marriages. They would head to Mexico a few weeks later. But during their short time in Vegas, they would lose 4 more members. Star would be the first to leave.
I think Star didn't, like many people, study me and knew what I was about.
What she had once thought was her calling was now the complete opposite. She would leave after being with the group for less than 6 months.
Because of everything that I had endured while I was there, I had to take the time to heal. I had to take the time to recover. And I wasn't even the one that was physically abused. However, I was verbally and mentally abused, you know? It's just as bad.
Shaka and Azim would be next to leave. Their decision came after Nature Boy ordered all of the women to give each other spiritual baths. It would be during Azim's spiritual bath that Nature Boy would approach her inappropriately.
The person who gave me my spiritual bath was Syrian. I'm taking off my clothes first off. Then Nature Boy walks in the room. I know even if I scream, Shaka would not be able to hear me because the music's too loud. I just stood there, I just let him do what he did, he left. And then Mama Syrian tells me, you should be grateful in this moment because he's showing you some kind of this attention that he hasn't shown me before. She's like, this is a good thing. Like, you should be grateful for this. And I was in my head, I'm like, grateful? I have a husband downstairs. What do you mean? I don't need this. You know? And then it was time for me to get out, and I'm standing in there naked, and I'm waiting for someone to bring me a towel. And this is the time he walks in and he pulls his junk out on me.
So my wife texts me like, nigga, this what happened. When I go upstairs to talk to her, boom, I'm like, bet, don't trip. Let me get our money first. Let me get everything situated, then we figure out what we're gonna do. Let me take care of that part. Once we got our money situated, I booked the hotel, booked Airbnb, boom. They didn't even see it happen. And I just booked it, and then I bounced. Me and my wife bounced like the next day.
Besides Nana, there was only one other member that was still a part of the group since the Melanation days, and that was Tron.
Snatched me out the car, they literally threw me out the window. It's about a 5 feet drop, and just boom, banged my head. Guy had his knee up against my neck.
He said we can't get on the plane because we stink, bro. So is it excuse this down? Why? We here. Press number 1 if you want Aya to be with Chief. Press number 2 if you want Aya to stay with Tron. So we have been punished because of our own nature. But it wasn't like this indigenously. We knew that a man can have as many women as he can afford. I saw you walking in the rain. You gotta get some swag, man. You gotta woo your woman, man.
Look at your environment. Look at the environment that you're living in right now. The environment that you're living in right now is a poison. It is a sickness.
Tron, Aya, Trya.
After being put in the closet for 7 days, his once devotion and dedication to Carbonation's cause had totally dissipated. Those 7 days in isolation was the first time in nearly 4 years that he had time completely by himself and was able to have his own thoughts. Not long after the Carbonation wedding, Tron decided to leave, and he would be homeless on the streets of Las Vegas for the next 5 months.
Leaving Carbonation, that right there is a whole detox in itself, because there's ways of thinking that you are given. When you join Carbonation, is you got to think a certain way. And when you join that tribe and you're thinking that way for a certain amount of time, for me, I was there for like 3-4 plus years. So me being there for 3-4 plus years, I adopted a whole lifestyle and way of thinking. So it takes some time to detox from that. You know what I'm saying? Much like it takes time to reprogram your mind. When I was homeless in Las Vegas for those 5 months, I was not living in no shelter. I was staying outside. I was either staying outside or I was going to the casino. That's the whole thing. I gotta tell you all the story about Las Vegas, yo. Like I didn't really go live much in Las Vegas because I was experiencing a lot. Like I went through a whole like homeless vibe, in and out of hotels, which I wasn't even on the streets as much per se. In the beginning I was, because it was really warm, so I didn't have to worry about like a place to stay because it's like 70 degrees at night. So I could just walk around at night, or, I could just lay my head, over here next to this tree at night, wake up in the morning and do the same thing because it's warm. It's only when it starts to get cold where you start to like, oh, okay, shit, let's find a house or some shelter or something like that, because it's fucking cold, you know what I'm saying? And no one likes to be outside in the cold.
Like, come on, yo. Address the shit, let's fix the shit, let's heal the shit, and go on with your damn lives. If not, dismantle the fucking roof. Because that's not what needs to be happening right over there. None of that needs to be happening over there. No one should be getting their ass whooped every fucking day. Especially a woman. No one needs to be doing that. Yes, they have real live odors over there. To the point where you can go in a room and you can tell when someone had sex because the shit stank. Straight up fish market. Zoka, Solar. Come on. I'm calling niggas out now because now y'all want to play like nothing's happening. Y'all want to play like nothing's not happening. Like, nah, like, I fucking care. And I fucking care about my people. And being misled ain't no joke. We're not here to mislead people around here. We're here to uplift the consciousness. Now there's some information that's right on point, but there's some things that's going on behind closed doors that gotta be fixed. If you're gonna teach it and you're gonna preach it, you gotta live it. That's all I'm saying.
Just days after Neytiri, Star, Shaka, and Azeen left, they would start exposing Nature Boy and other members of the group online.
Tell me why the public needs to know my business.
The public needs to know because you're false leading people. You're being a hypocrite.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not false leading anybody. Tell me how I'm false leading somebody. Tell me.
Okay, so first of all, you posted whole happy pictures with you and Nana G and everybody else there. Happy pictures, ha. When you're beating her, when she's beating you, when y'all are throwing shit at each other, like that's not okay.
Everybody knows. Wait. Everybody, listen.
They don't need to hold on to that. No, they don't need to. You're in a toxic relationship with Nana G, and you think it's okay, and you're perpetuating generational curses that need to stop now.
Okay, so and what is the public gonna do about it? So now that you told the public my business, that I'm in a dysfunctional relationship. Not that they didn't know that since Mexico, and I've been in a dysfunctional relationship and stuff like that, right? People know what the f going on with us.
Everyone's judging the women of Carbonation and the men of Carbonation and saying that we're brainwashed and saying that we don't have a mind of our own and saying that we're afraid and saying that we're getting beaten. No, you're literally watching us pick up the unk of the melanated people.
At one point in time, women could not even be disrespectful without being killed, because that's not the woman's place. Because the man is the head and the woman supports the head. That's it. So when a woman is expressing masculinity to masculinity, then you're going to deal with masculine shit. And it's not to say that we want to be violent and hit each other or anything like that. It's just representation of nature as far as there being natural law.
Are you not serious? That's fucking joke.
Bro, you got on live with Star.
Yeah,
And
I did.
And
Yeah, I did.
So are you serious?
That's disrespectful.
Come
That's
correct.
disrespectful. Y'all disrespecting yourselves. It's time to wake the up.
Facts.
When are y'all gonna wake up?
Come on.
Come on, you've been choked the out how many times? Aya, disrespected. Zoka, oh my god. Like all y'all women. What is going on? Y'all don't respect yourselves.
Naturi, you came here looking sick as bro. And that's just
What?
That's on some real shit. The reason why you look like you look right now is because you healed a part of yourself when you was here. I've been through more than you could ever think about on this spiritual journey when it comes to facing my demons.
Yeah, you're facing one. Oh wow. Not me. Not me.
Well,
yeah. Not me, my nigga. You're the one in your bedroom.
Around this time during Nature Boy's journey, he had done so many crazy things online that there was almost nothing he could do that would shock his followers. But his next move will be something that will have everyone scratching their heads. Once Carbonation arrived in Mexico, he rented 2 different Airbnbs in different locations. One for the men and one for the women. He would stay in the house with the women. But he would take it even a step further. Not only would he have the women staying with him, but he would actually take them from their husbands and make them his wives. Even the ones that had just been legally married weeks prior.
He separated the women and the men, and he put us in 2 different houses, and he was in the house with the women, and the men were neglected, pretty much.
All the women were put in a position where we were separated from the men, and he claimed that we all had to be his wife.
When he got all the women in the house together, that same day, he had proceeded to have sex with everybody. That same day, all of the women, including me.
The purpose of him taking all the wives after we got married is because he wanted to procreate. He wanted us to have children with him, us to have children with our husbands, and for our children to mate on some weird shit. Like, we had a whole meeting about that. That's when I noticed, like, stuff was getting weird.
And, he did whatever he wanted to with us. Whatever he wanted to. And he did it for about 2 weeks. Well, Zoka, she wanted to be with Solar, and she was pregnant, with Solar's baby, so she wanted to be with him, and Nature Boy was still having sex with her, and she didn't have a choice. She didn't have a choice. So she slept with him, and he wanted to. And Sheba wanted to be with him. Sheba wanted to be with Nature Boy, so she went behind True with True's child to have sex with Nature Boy, and they did. And she was wanting to have a relationship with Nature Boy, with True's baby, with True there. And that didn't work out though, because Nature Boy doesn't like Sheba like that. So all of the other women want to have sex with him. Everybody's competing to have sex with him. Everybody who ever touched Carbonation, you have to condone in the behavior with Nature Boy for it to exist. And at one point in time, I was condoning that behavior because I felt like, and I thought that I loved him, because I felt and I thought that I could help him become a better man.
Why would somebody want to be married to one of his soldiers' wives who now has a child by that soldier?
You know why? Because it comes a time when you got to really think about things in life. Tell him you gave one to True. And then
One to True. Now I'm giving one to you.
come closer.
I gave one to True. Now I'm giving one to you.
There it is.
It was a way to remind me you're not in control of your relationship. I am.
Relationships cannot thrive in that environment because relationships are, the things you need for a relationship to thrive are not being given by the man or the woman there, you feel what I'm saying, to each other, you feel what I'm saying? So there's absolutely no way that the relationships could thrive. Also, just being dictated by someone who's not successful in relationships itself is just only going to be a trickle-down effect.
Peace, God.
Peace to God.
They want a real nigga moment with Truthski.
Hey, you know I'm over here punching the L. No, I'm over here punching the L, boy. I'm over here getting my what they call boys in the hood on. I'm punching the L right now, boy. It's rough. It's rough out here in these streets, man. Hey, man. How does True survive, man? How you hanging in there, buddy? How you dealing with that, buddy? How you doing? All the questions, man. Hey, man, how I'm doing? How you doing, buddy?
Yo, True, you's a funny nigga.
How you hanging in there, man? How you holding up, brother? You know what I mean? What's going on? Punching the L, boy. That's it. That's all I got. That's it. Shit, that's maximum velocity right there. It's rough out here in these streets. Boy, y'all wildin', boy. Niggas done came up with 32 different conspiracy theories before I even joined the lie. Shit crazy.
Yo, I can't. Hold up, cut.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
When it comes to me being two-faced, I just really regret a lot of the things that I've said and a lot of the things that I did because of the situation at hand. But I cannot sit here and I can't take any of it back.
It would be during those 2 weeks of Nature Boy having all the women to himself that Sarian would later claim she was sexually assaulted by him.
He wanted us to approach him a certain way by calling him my king. If I'm now considered his wife, I really didn't know what to expect. I just know based off of how he's treated the other women that were his wives, that if they were not to submit to him, that it would end up in some type of abuse. So that's just the mindset that I had in the moment. I was called to the room and I didn't approach him the way he wanted me to, so he made me do squats, which was kind of like a punishment if you were out of line. And he made one of his wives leave the room. The door was closed, and then I recall him asking me to give him oral. I don't remember giving him oral or anything, but I remember him asking me, and then he got up off the bed, and then we ended up near the bathroom, and that's when the situation happened. He penetrated me anally. In that moment, I feel like I had shut down. It was a moment after it happened that I went to the bathroom because I was in pain and bleeding. So she came to me after the fact and she was like, I have to show you something. So when she showed me, it definitely was blood there and it was torn, and I was like, ouch. And so I didn't really know what to do because I'm not a medical professional. So I just told her to clean it, and I gave her some antibiotic ointment to see if that'll help, and that's really all I had.
After 2 weeks of having all the women to himself, Nature Boy would give Sheba back to True and Sarian back to Mente. He would keep Aya, Efru, Malia, and Nana as his wives. Sarian and Mente both decided to leave shortly after getting back together.
We actually just left in the middle of the night. They wasn't really stressing about me leaving because they already knew I was going to leave, but they gave Mente a hard time, Eligio did. Because he speaks Spanish, and they were in Mexico, and they were like, if he leaves, how are we gonna survive here type shit.
Anna would also leave, She had only been with Carbonation for about 2 months.
Nature Boy inspired me. He sparked my mind, and I'm grateful for it. Like, I don't know, it's just like a certain honor I gotta have for the person that sparked my mind. And yeah, I mean, there's melanin and grounding, astrology, you know, we could find it in different ways, but this is my story. Like, I found it through him, and it just is what it is. I'm not gonna dishonor that.
Although the women pretended to be getting along, by this point most of the women despised Nana. The fact that she had gone and came back so many times, and always got the ranking of chiefess, was especially annoying to Malia. After a while of not getting along, and Nana feeling disrespected by her, Nature Boy would set up a fight between the two of them on a beach in Mexico.
She felt like her and Nature Boy had more of a connection than me and him did. So as time went on, she kept doing it, she kept doing it, she kept doing it. It got worse. I didn't know that Nature Boy was turning her against me behind closed doors, behind my back. So one day I was just like, I want to fight you, period. Like, that's like on period. Like, every time I see you, I want to fight you. Like, that's how I feel now, because it's just mad disrespectful, like what she was doing. Malia was like, no, I don't want to fight, da 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 da, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, then, just stop disrespecting me then. Like, I just kept asking her, stop disrespecting me if you don't want to fight me. Me and her, we had cooled down, and then we took a walk, and we talked about it. And I was like, look, I'm not here to step on your toes or make you feel no type of way or nothing like that. So when we calmed down, we came back to the table, and he was like, no, y'all gonna fight. So then the energy came back in her. It was like she just got possessed. She was just like, yeah, I wanna fight. And I was like, hey, then we gonna fight then.
Come in, stand right here. Stand right here. I said stand right here. What I say? Stand right there.
We don't understand this concept when it comes to what I'm doing, we call a cult leader. But if you had to go to school, you have a professor, and you have to respect your professor. Sometimes as a scientist, I'm like a mad scientist. Sometimes I'm very passionate about what I stand for, and I might talk to you in a way because I care about you so much.